It's Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and I'm super excited to share a monumental moment really for North Brewing Company and North Bar, importantly, in Leeds. Now, North Bar have turned 25 years old as of this year, 2022, and to celebrate that, they brought out a pale ale at 5.6% ABV, an American pale ale in a nice blue can. You've got your 25 years written on the can. I've got my own stories with North Bar. I've been there once myself. We'll get into all of those kind of stories in a moment. But first of all, very important that I show you the beer. 440 milliliter can. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. That's looking rather lovely. We got a 2-finger white head, slow moving carbonation on this one. It's a nice deep amber coloured beer with a little bit of haze in there. Looks good, looks very, very good. I like the look of this one. For an American pale ale, if you think about the American pale ales of old, not your kind of from 2016 onwards American pale ales, they were fundamentally, if you think about a Sierra Nevada Torpedo or a Sierra Nevada pale ale, they were this colour. They were more of a deeper golden amber colour rather than being really light with just pale malts used to produce the beer. Let's get the aroma then on the beer. Smells good. Zesty, lemony, a little bit of orange peel. You get a little bit of that kind of yeast ester in there. It's giving off a real kind of, I know you can't smell spice. I suppose you can smell spice and pepperiness, but you really do get a sense of the spiciness and the pepperiness of the beer. From the hops used, of course. A little bit of sweet malt in the aroma. But it smells good, it smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. A lovely beer. A lovely, lovely beer. Carbonation pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of the flavour. That flavour it's terrific really. There's a spicy kind of peppery punch on the back end. A little bit of bitterness there. It's a little kind of sherbety on the carbonation is a little kind of sherbety. It really is kind of, there's a good hiss there, a good fizz on the tongue. Really does kind of push that beer on the inside of the mouth. It does release, it's like almost like a chemical reaction really. That carbonation is really kind of hissing and fizzing on right on the tongue there. It's just helping to produce more of a stinging nettle. It's a stinging nettle hop bitterness on this one with some grapefruit and some orange peel. This is fundamentally one of those kind of old school Sierra Nevada type kind of Sierra Nevada Torpedo or Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. but it's very good. I like that. I like that sweetness to begin with. I like that little kind of bready, malty kind of sweetness to begin with. Slightly kind of worty in the flavour. And then it goes over to kind of bitterness on the back end. So you've got that lovely balance between bitterness and sweetness. They produced a real blinder of a beer for this. Now I'm wondering, because they're 25 years old, I'm pretty sure Sierra Nevada Brewing Company are probably the same sort of age. I'm wondering if there's any kind of tie-in with this, any kind of... Let's read the back of the can. North Bar turns 25 years old and we're celebrating the only way we know how, with some very good beers. Ooh, pardon me. This beer pays tribute to a classic from our taps. North Bar was the first place in the UK to pour Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? If you think about it, if you think of where craft beer is right now in this moment, 2022, there's craft beer everywhere. There's craft beer in Home Bargains. There's craft beer in Asda, Morrison's, Tesco, Lidl, Aldi, Marks and Spencer's, Waitrose. There's craft beer literally in most pubs these days. But it was only 12 years ago when I started the channel that I was bemoaning the lack of craft beer, trying Sierra Nevada for the first time and thinking, wow, what a beer, where can I find this? Nowhere. Such a great beer like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale was very difficult to find in the UK. You might have found the odd kind of online bottle shop selling it. So if you think that was 12 years ago, think back 25 years ago. 25 years ago to when North Bar in Leeds opened their doors. The first bar in the UK. 25 years ago. That's more than double the age of my channel. They're serving Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I wonder what the people of Leeds thought of that back in the day. I wonder what people thought about it. People kind of, did people like it? Were people like, oh, this is far too bitter for me, or this is a really kind of different beer? I imagine it was easier to sell in the UK than it was selling in America, because the UK market already has this kind of real ale. I mean, I think about 30% of all beer back then was probably real ale sales. So there was a tendency to kind of drink IPA anyway. So it was probably a market where they kind of sold the beer very, very well. It was probably more difficult to sell it in America, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, where they had those yellow fizzy lagers that they were trying to compete with. But anyway, I promised you a story about North Bar myself. I went to North Bar in Leeds in 2012. And that is a delicious beer, by the way. I was greeted when I sat down at my table. It was a very narrow, I remember it being a narrow but very long bar. Like a burgage plot, like the plots of 13-foot pieces of land that the king gave up back in the day. 13 foot, but they were very, very long. Walked into this long, narrow bar, sat myself down, picked up a book, thinking maybe they do food. Opened this book. To my amazement, the book was this thick, and the book was full page after page after page of brilliant beer. I remember drinking a Tipo Pils in North Bar in Leeds, and I remember drinking some kind of hoppy IPA. And then we went back to the Guild of... It wasn't the Guild of Beer, right? It was the European Beer Bloggers Conference in Leeds in 2012. That's why I was in Leeds. But I was persuaded on the lunch break to run over to North Bar and have a beer. And I'm so glad I did. Because it's the only time I've been to the original North Bar in Leeds. I've been to the newer North Bars, which are big and glass fronted and wonderful places. But I've only ever been to the original bar once, this narrow, long bar. Wonderful though. Wonderful beer. Wonderful memories. Here's to 25 years of North Bar in Leeds. Let's hope for another 25 years. Beer looks good, smells good, tastes good. I like it. I like that enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. It really does remind me of Sierra Nevada of old. The old kind of, well, still is. It's not changed. The Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.